episode of our new radio broadcast. And I'm so excited to bring on, as you can see, Mr. Kel Mitchell, who is a talented young man. So before I bring him on, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about Kel and read you the shortest bio that I can about this talented young man. Kel Mitchell is a two-time Emmy Award nominated actor, producer, comedian, youth pastor, and author hailing from Chicago, Illinois. Mitchell's executive produced and appeared in the new iteration of the beloved Nickelodeon series, All That, bringing him full circle to the original award-winning show that was his big break. All That was Nickelodeon's longest running live sitcom series with 171 episodes across 10 sessions from 1994 to 2005. The franchise paved the way for several successful spinoffs, including Kenan and Kel, The Amanda Show, The Nick Cannon Show, and the feature-length film Good Burger, all of which cemented Mitchell's impact on pop culture. In addition to his beloved projects across television and film, Mitchell also authored two books: the 2022 comedy fantasy illustrated novel for kids and tweens, Prank Day, and the 2021 90-day devotional, Blessed Mode, 90 Days to Level Up Your Faith. The latter was also the inspiration for his return to music with the Christian hip-hop single for the same name, Blessed Mode. So without further ado, I want to welcome my very special guest, Mr. Kel Mitchell. How are you?
What's happening? I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming on. You know, it has been such a blessing working with you first, you and your beautiful wife, Asia. And we're developing your nonprofit, which is why we're having you on today, which is honoring National Nonprofit Day, which is tomorrow. Hey. So Kel, yeah, thank you. And so tell me a little bit and tell our audience, first of all, since we're bringing you on to talk about your nonprofit, why you're developing your new foundation.
Oh man, I love giving back, especially giving back to the youth. I've been blessed to work in children's entertainment for so many years, with working with Nickelodeon and Disney and CBS family entertainment programs. And something that helped me when I was young was a theater on the south side of Chicago, ETA, Creative Arts Foundation. That changed my life completely. My parents tried everything. I was very rambunctious and, a class clown at school. And my parents were like, I want him to go on the right path. I have friends that were going to church, but then I have friends that were on the wrong path as well. So my parents were trying to find every type of hobby. And the community theater in my neighborhood was something that really I gravitated towards. I enjoyed. When I walked into the theater, I went, whoa, this is really it for me, right? And so it was something that was positive for kids within the community. My parents, my dad is a retired psychologist. My mom is a retired teacher. They're very, education is very important in our house. And also having positive outlooks for their kids and positive things for them to do. So that just continued within my life as far as helping the youth and helping them on a better path, and the things that I've went through in my life and things that I've learned, I want to help them. And so I felt it was really smart to start a foundation, and really help kids and help youth and just show them different pathways and things that they might have never thought about. Yeah.
And, with you talking about how you were even as a youth, studies have revealed that we start revealing who we are and what our true passions are by the time we're 5 years old. And so you can probably think back to even before kindergarten, or probably with your cousins, you were that clown. You were the one that brought the party and the laughter to those, to your cousins and everyone. Was that your experience?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that was the thing. Like I wanted to put on a show in the classroom. I would do a cartwheel in the classroom, just getting attention. I remember it was one incident where my mom remembers where I was 5 years old, and we were on a family trip, and it was a band on stage, and they brought me on stage, and I just did a full out Michael Jackson routine at 5 years old on stage, and they were like, "Look at this this 5-year-old giving us an entire show. And it wasn't a thing where I wanted to be on TV or anything like that at that age. It was just, like you said, it was in me. Like I wanted to entertain. I love to entertain. I love to make people laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I just love doing that and putting a smile on people's faces, even at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I there's three questions that that I've started to ask all of my guests.
Yeah.
And and one of them is, hold on, I'm trying to get back over to my questions. Is what really motivates you, Kel?
Ooh, what motivates me? I mean, family, my faith, it's so much that motivates me, and getting up in the morning and just, sun up, man up, commanding your morning, commanding your day.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone goes through many different obstacles and things in their lives. I've
Mm-hmm.
been through many different things in my life. But what I realized was that once you decide to say, hey, before I go to people, I'm going to go to God first, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's like I want to make sure I spend time with him, praying with him, so I can get this mind right. You know what I mean? It's all
Mm-hmm.
about renewing your mind daily. And that's in the word of God. And that's so important, because
Mm-hmm.
it's so many things coming at us every day, whatever
Every day.
anybody might be dealing with. And the thing is that you have to reboot this mind, so that way you can get your physical, your spiritual, everything right for your day and what you're doing. And so that's what really motivates me. And when I'm doing it with God, I mean, he wins, you know what I mean? So the thing about it is that you're looking at your day as, yeah, something might come up, but no matter what, I'm going to keep my joy. I'm going after it. Let's go. I'm excited about this adventure. I'm excited about this day. And when you look at
Right.
the day like that, it just really motivates you. I want to be the best husband. I want to be the best father, all these things, better than the day I was yesterday. You know what I mean? So
Yes, yes,
that's
yes.
how you got to look at it. And that's what really motivates me. It's like a pre-workout.
Yes. And and that's why I started the show Beverly Hills to Barnyard, because it's such first of all, two different aspects of life, from Beverly Hills to the Barnyard, but
Mhm.
also it is to help individuals to pivot through whatever they may be going through, whatever doubts they may have. And so, um, to be able to know what brings you joy, we sometimes have to dig for that, because every day is not a bed of roses, and people, they say, Sherita, you're always smiling. Every time I see you on Facebook, you're smiling. Well, for one, I have a big mouth. Two, I choose joy. There are days that I wake up, Kel, and I'm just wondering, I'm feeling a little off kilter. So thank God that I have
Mhm.
been placed in the environment that I'm in. I can go outside and be around my animals. And I've always loved animals ever since I was a kid. I even wanted to grow up and train dogs, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm training goats. And so that's why that question I like to ask my guests, because for my listeners, whether they're on right now or going to be listening later, we all have those days where we have to find what brings us joy. We have to
Mhm.
be able to turn on that switch, to maybe turn off the switch that has us feeling depressed that day or whatever.
Yeah.
So, my next question: what has been your greatest obstacle that you've had to
Mm.
overcome?
Man, when I get that question, I always look at it like I feel every day is a new obstacle. You know what I mean? And when you have to look at it in that way, because I'm the kind of person where I like to look at how God brought me through,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, how people have, journals of a diary. I also have journals of how the prayer worked. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
I've been through suicidal thoughts. I've been through depression. I've been through heartache. I've been through all those different things, but God brought me through, right? And every day is a new obstacle. That's why I was talking about renewing the mind and getting
Mm-hmm.
out of certain things, because you never know what might come up during that day that might trigger you or put you in a certain emotion. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why boundaries are very important. You know what I mean? As far as like
Yes.
spiritually, to really go, okay, I call it the kind of like the Shark Tank method of what it is, where you take every thought and you take every option into the Shark Tank. You've seen that show, right? So
Mm-hmm.
right? So basically it's you and it's God right there, and you're sitting up there like the sharks are, you sitting there, right? And these new thoughts come into your mind, right? Because I was the type of person where I would take a thought and it would go crazy. Oh, maybe I should have did this. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should. And then your whole day is just destroyed because you're thinking all this crazy stuff. Right.
Yeah.
But now what I do is I take every thought and every option, into consideration and have it come up and present itself. You know what I mean? In my mind. And I go, okay, should I act on this? Should I speak this? Will I be thinking about this in a week from now? Is this situation something that I need to be getting into? What is the boundaries? What do I need to do? And me doing that really helps, you know what I mean? And for all the listeners that are listening, do that. If there's someone that keeps, talking about something that is negative, you know what I mean? Or there's people around you in your circle that are negative, you know what I mean? Show me your friends, show me your future. What is your thought process like? Do recaps of your day. You know what I mean? Like what pulled me into these bad thoughts? What pulled me into this obstacle? The thing about it is that when I go through an obstacle, I think about the things that God has got me through, how the triumph of it. So if you think about the triumph of it and not just focus on the obstacle or focus on the negativity and focus on the stress, because when you do that, you stay there. And there's this you know what I mean? And so the thing is that we want breakthrough, you know what I mean? So we want to get out of that,
Right. Yeah, well, and Kel, there's a couple of things that come to mind with what you were saying. For one, we think methodical. We think about different stages or steps when we're doing anything else in our life, whether it's work, whether it's what we're going to do, even cleaning our house, whatever. I'm going to clean the bathroom first. I'm going to do that. But when it comes to us and our thoughts, we don't tend to do that. We don't look at, say, why is this making me feel this way? Okay, well, let me table this because this doesn't have to be addressed right now. We don't have to do all of it right now, right then, in that order of that it came into our thoughts. And so if we start doing like you just said, you're thinking about it methodically and where do I place this? That would just be so helpful in how we operate in our lives. And then the other thing that came to mind, for you to mention depression, and a lot of times men will not think about that. And we've lost some wonderful, even young men here over the past few years, because so often men will not talk about their feelings. They will not let someone know that right now, I'm not right. I'm not feeling quite myself. Or so for you to even mention that, Kel, thank you, because it is empowering and it's not a weakness. And so many of our men need to know that. So,
to be transparent, and tell other men, you know what I mean? To let them know, hey, I went through it, brother. A lot of times, like the reason, when I was going through stuff, or when I go through stuff, the thing about it is that in the past, I used to be quiet about it, like on that man thing, like, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. But the thing about it is that that's why testimonies are so beautiful. You know what I mean? And when we read the stories in the Bible and we hear about the triumphs, it's motivating to us, right? And to our spirit, and empowers us. We have to do the same thing with our stories. You know what I mean? Our stories as well, and just in how you got through it, and what are you doing every day? What are you doing spiritually, mentally, physically? And so then a man can go, oh man, and you go, hey, I went through this 4 or 5 years ago, and this is how God brought me through. And this is what I did. I started to work out. I started to do affirmations and pray every day and spend time with God. And I'm telling you, brother, it'll work, because I was where you were 3 years ago. I was where you were 5 years ago, and how that empowers a young man and how that helps them within that moment, because you're being transparent. You say, how I went through it too. Yes. And I was just talking to a young man about a week ago, and he was even saying, well, I was told that I should never cry. And I said, then why did God also give tear ducts to men, to boys? I mean, we all have tear ducts. And so it's not a sign of weakness. There are tears of joy, there are tears of sadness, but none of it reflects weakness. And so that's so important. I have another question. Do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to discuss, or, let's talk about your books, or, all that good stuff? Well, yeah, I mean, we're right on one of my books, which is a devotional. It's called Bless Mode.
Hmm.
And I created Bless Mode. Of course, we hear beast mode and all those different terms like that.
Uh-huh.
But I definitely wanted to do a devotional book because everyone was like, man, you've been in the business since you were, a young teen and up until now, and you should do a memoir. And I was like, well, no, I want to do a devotional because I feel like a devotional, people have like busy lives, but I want them to be able to connect with God
Right.
and command their morning, go after their day. And so Bless Mode is really a lifestyle. It's really talking about that renewed mind concept that I talked about with you earlier. I
Hmm.
was really into video games when I was a kid.
Hmm.
And they have a part of a video game called God Mode, where it's really where the designers will give you a code. And so the designers of the game will give you a code. And when you have that, it's like you have immunity. You can just like go through the game and do things in the game that the designer only knows of the
Oh,
game. Right.
okay.
And so
Okay.
you can go to different levels quicker than everybody else because you have these code. And Nintendo had a code where it's up, down, left, right, start. And I remember when everybody figured that out, they were like, oh man, I can do all this like fun stuff now. I have like a cheat code, through the.
Right, right.
And so that's the same thing where when we understand and we connect with God, and now we know what he knows about us and why he designed us and why we were born for a purpose, we look at life differently and we start to have a jetpack of faith where we can move differently than everybody else and everybody's trying to figure it out. But it's
Yeah.
because I now know what the designer knows. I'm
Yes.
spending time with him and he's teaching me about myself and what I should be able to do, right? And so that's why I created Bless Mode. And it's this, I start you off with a Bible verse. I start you off with a short story of, my life and how that Bible verse helped me. And then after that, what I saw that wasn't in devotionals a lot was a call to action because I love
Mm.
to work out. And I wrote it during during the pandemic. And we have to work on our physical self and our spiritual selves at that time, right? In our spiritual and physical. So I worked out a lot. And so I would have a call to action to have you do burpees at the end of it,
Mm.
or maybe forgive someone that you hadn't forgiven, have that hard conversation,
Hmm.
and I would have them do what they just read. You know what I mean, within it. And so each day was something new for you to do. And it's just been such a blessing. It's been people that have hit me up and said, man, I haven't even never read a Bible verse, but now I follow Kel on Nickelodeon and now I'm reading this book and it's really helped me, or I've forgiven this person. I'm working out and I'm also spending time with God. It has been a real blessing. And I love this book. It's been a blessing to everybody. Yeah. And
Okay. So you were
yeah.
actually on live with people during COVID. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
virtually like this.
Well, no, I wrote the book. I wrote the book
Uh-huh.
live. I wrote the book during the pandemic, and then
Okay.
after that, we went on a press tour with the book and started speaking on it. But then what
Oh,
I had in the book, because I speak to a lot of youth too, because I'm a youth pastor. What I saw was that a lot of people search on social media for certain things that they are dealing with. So
okay.
they'll look for the hashtag. They'll look for hashtag depression, hashtag uh, forgiveness, hashtag, all these different things. And so I was like, okay, at the end of my book, at each day, at the end of the devotional, I'm going to have the hashtag. So I want you to put hashtag bless mode. And I want you to talk about what day you are on and what you did that day and how it affected you, because
Yes.
then that way it will help others that are searching online. And so that's what started to happen. As the book came out, people were doing hashtag bless mode. We had a song along with it too. I put a song with it, and it created this community of just love and people knowing that they are blessed. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
knowing that God made them for a purpose and they are beautifully and wonderfully made by God. And this is not the
Hmm.
time to give up. This is not the time to take your life. You can get through this, this thing. And so it has been a community of people all over the world that, I have been able to reach through this book,
Okay. So then tell
Yeah.
me this. How do people connect to your Bless Mode community, and
Yeah.
how can they get your Bless Mode book?
It's available everywhere books are sold. You can go to Barnes and Noble, Target. It's on
Okay.
Amazon. Type in Bless Mode and it'll be right there for you. And then you could also have the song too. The song is everywhere too. It's on Spotify, iTunes. Just type in Kel Mitchell, Blessed Mode, and you'll be able to get that too. I wanted to have a song along with it too, because
Now, Kel, can you give us a
yeah.
little bit of the song or no? Is that putting you too much on the spot? Because all this time working with you, I've never heard you sing to me. I mean, I want to feel like it's to me. Can you give me just a little bit?
Well, it's hip hop. It's hip hop. So
it's okay.
It's Christian hip hop. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I just love it. And the music video is amazing as well. Because I don't want to ruin for people the music video. So
I'll go to the
check it out. I want you to go check it out.
I'll go to the video. And make sure that you tune in. That you go and get Kel's book, Blessed Mode, and also get connected to the Blessed Mode community. Kel,
yeah,
let's talk a little bit about how you are. We've been talking about a lot of things that you're going to start doing with youth, and let's put it out there. I mean, you already tour to schools. You already attend assemblies and hold like assembly type events. Suppose someone is listening and they are a principal at a school or even at a college, university. How can they reach you to possibly come and visit and talk to their young people?
Yeah, definitely. I love speaking at different schools and different youth. I also work with a National College Resource Foundation as well.
Teresa Price.
Shout out to Teresa Price. Yeah, and so you can definitely check me out, kelmitchell.com. I have all, my management and my team and everyone on there where you can go check it out and have me come out and speak to the youth. I'm really about empowering youth. I just went to Chicago, back to my hometown, and I talked about Blessed Mode. I told them I was in those same seats as they were. And I know that what they're dealing with, I know what they're dealing with as far as like, the things that are going on right now. And just to let them know that, hey, I'm here, I'm praying with you. What I'm doing is no different than what you can do as well. You know what I mean? It's all about a mindset in that faith. That's the thing about it is you have to see it. You know what I mean? And that's where faith is, what I mean? You see it before it happens, what I mean? You have to believe it in your heart. And so it was beautiful because they saw like, man, Kel grew up right down the street from where I grew up. And he's been through all these different things and he's had things happen in his life that very similar to me. And so I can make it through. And it was just beautiful to see these kids smiling within that and in that time. And I love doing that. And I love just turning on that light bulb of just a different option. You know what I mean? Or things that you weren't thinking about. So definitely reach out to me. I love motivating. I love changing people's lives and also creating, events, for youth. That's exciting to me. That's what we're going to be doing within our foundation. We're going to be creating just life-changing events, and that's a lot of fun for me.
Yes. And it definitely has been an honor working with you and Asia. Now also with your nonprofit and your no, there was something else, and this is going to be totally off the cuff for you, but we all keep hearing about the strike that's going on right now and writers being off work. And like I'm watching The View and they're even saying, well, what are we going to talk about today? We don't have our writers. Having you on and you being in the industry, how is this impacting you? And what can you say or not say? Not say, but what can you say about what's going on right now and your feelings?
Yeah, of course. I am. I'm in the union with WGA, and I'm also in the union with SAG and AFTRA, so I stand with them. But in this time too, as well as the strike is going on, I encourage people look at it how the pandemic was, where it was the same thing, where you had to literally sit down, you know what I mean, for a second. And this is the time to not
press
panic.
The reset button.
Yeah, press that reset button. This is not time to panic. Start looking at other things, other ways of, things that God has blessed you with as far as your talents and other ways to reach out to others as things are changing. That don't look at it as a time to go, oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with all these things? It's so beautiful, the things that can happen when you look at it in a positive way and look at the good within it. And you start to go, oh, what other creative things have God been telling me to do within this time? And I just didn't have the time because I was so busy. But now I have this time or this window to do these things. And what's beautiful about it is that because I have all these other projects and things that I'm working on, it never really it never really stops. But that's
Yes.
because I've took the time to say, hey God, I just want to do your will, and I don't want to be afraid to step out on new journeys and new jobs and new movements. There's always something new to do. My parents, they always told me that an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to make sure that you're always working on something. And, shout out to my beautiful wife. You know what I mean? We always have amazing and fun, creative ideas. And our kids keep us very busy as well, too. So.
Yes, yes.
So,
And and Kel, again, you struck on something else that reminds me, we all are layers. And there's so many layers to us, but we get stuck on the one that we're in that daily, like going to work. And now that the strike has hit, people are like, well, what do I do now? But we are layers. And when we start tapping into that, it reminds me so much now, especially being here in the country. I have time to reflect. And I think about all the different things that I heard in the Bible. I would hear someone say, even the valley, though I walk through the valley. Well, you walk. And we always think that it's a negative, but a lot of times when I'm going through something, I look at it as though that I'm in my valley, and that's a place where I'm going to reflect on things, because you go down that hill and you're kind of like right in here. And I'm reflecting on things, I'm thinking about things, but also God is preparing me for that uphill. And still, it's not a negative, because as you're on your journey, whatever journey you're on, there are always blessings in it. There are always things that you should look around and just thank God for. And so for those that are listening, and if you're part of this strike, you're in a valley, and God is waiting on you to reflect on who you are. And the other thing, Kel, is I see that God has given us so many wonderful talents, and he doesn't give us things just because. He gives us different layers of who he is, whether it's acting, comedian, poetry, what you're doing with youth and pastoring. But I picture God and Jesus talking, and Jesus is sitting down on the floor with his arm up on God's knee. And he said, Lord, you're going to let him keep going through that? He's bumping his head. And God said, it's not going to kill him. But I'm just waiting on him to really see the skills and the gifts that I've given him. And when he does, then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more. But if I give it to him all right now and he's not ready for it, he's going to walk on it. It's going to, and so that's what I feel like happens when I'm thinking of me and God, that I'm like, okay, Lord, I keep bumping my head with this. This is not the direction you have for me to go. Let me start looking, let me start self-reflecting and seeing what other skills and gifts you have given me, what direction I should be going in this journey. And always, Kel, it is revealed. It is revealed. But sometimes he just wants us to stop and say, okay, Lord, let me let you take the wheel. So, yeah, so I can see
light my path, and let
light
him
my
light that path.
path.
And when you walk that path, you go, oh wait, I'm into this. I can do
Yes.
this. So to all the actors and everyone, write that project, write that book, do those things, you know what I mean? That voiceover work, whatever I did is get it all out, at home, get it all out. So when this strike is over, you're ready for something new. You know what I mean? Some other things. Yeah.
Well, before we get to the close of the show, I just want to remind you, I'm sorry, I'm here on the farm, so my dogs are barking.
Oh, no worries.
Kel, how do they reach out to you again? What's your social media or your website?
You go to my Instagram at I am Kel Mitchell, at I am Kel Mitchell, and then also kelmitchell.com. You can go there as well. And I'm very active on my social. You'll see my church on there. You'll see me speaking to youth. You'll see my music, all kind of stuff. See me with my beautiful wife. Man. So, and my beautiful kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you're such an active father, and I love seeing that, and I look forward to, again, working with you in Asia more with your nonprofit and getting that up and off the ground. And it has just been an honor not only to get to know you better, and when we're doing our regular Zooms, but it has given me more insight to the young man that I've been watching. I mean, you're my son's age, right? So both of my boys. And so, but to get to know you and Asia both has been a joy. And that's why I wanted to bring you to my audience, because when people see someone on television, they have no idea who that person is underneath and how the jewel that they are. And so, Kel, I just want to thank you for coming on today. And I'm sorry, are there any last messages that you would like to share with the audience?
Any last one? Well, I want to thank you for having me on, and congratulations on this. This is awesome, and you all tune in because you're going to get a lot of great advice. So
Well,
yeah,
thank you.
but definitely I want to thank you, and I just want to tell everybody, hey, you woke up today for a reason. You know what I mean? Go after it. Stay in blessed mode. You are a blessing. God has made you a blessing. Everyone was born for a reason. So go after it. Go get them blessings.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Kel Mitchell. And thank you for being on, honoring this holiday, which is National Nonprofit Day, happening tomorrow, August 17th. And so also, Kel, what most people don't know, I am the founder of National Nonprofit Day. And
Wow.
a lot of people think that nonprofits, you can't make a profit and all of that, but you can. The nonprofit industry is the third largest business sector in the United States, only falling third behind manufacturing and retail. So for those of you, if you want to know more, stay tuned to me at either at Beverly Hills to Barnyard on social media, or Sherita Herring on Facebook, or Sherita Herring on Facebook, or one Sherita J on Instagram. Kel, again, thank you for being on. I just love you dearly. Tell your beautiful wife, Asia, hello. And I look forward to talking to you real soon. For everyone else, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Have a great one.